Hello folks, this is Steve AB4L. I'm at the big box parking lot. I just pulled in. What do you think a truck like this does? Okay, that's a vise that can turn. Oh, Lincoln Arc Welder. There we go. We got the answer. See, it's a generator. Oh yeah, and there are the leads. It's got an air compressor or air, gas. Oh, all right. So what they did, this rig was probably on a truck from 30 years ago. And they adapted it to a new truck bed. There you go, I love it. On, off, auto high, remote local, 3 switches. This is beautiful. It's out of state. Yeah, that's a flathead engine in there. This is like 50 years old, 60 years old, betcha. We'll have to look it up. Lincoln Arc Welder. All right, there's the exhaust pipe up there, and it has a cap so it won't rain into it. And it has a hook on top of the frame so it can be lifted out by a crane. So this was dropped in, and this was originally on a different truck, and they put it on the new thing because this is the valuable part. All right, I love it. Now, why would I care? Well, you just think of things like I used to work in my brother's foreign car repair shop. He had a welder. Now this is more like an industrial type welder where you go out someplace and you have to put up the frame of a building or whatever, or weld in new sewer pipes or whatever. Heavy duty, mobile, love it. Never know what you're going to see. Steve AB4L. Ever curious, saying see you in 73. Well, folks, I'm at home. It's much later, and I decided to do a little bit of research. I speculated that the welding setup, gasoline-driven arc welder setup from Lincoln Arc Welder, was at least 50 years old. So when I went to I put in Lincoln Arc Welder, and there's the company, Lincoln Electric, and the Google search engine knows all about them, and you can buy them, and they're anywhere from a few $100s to a few $1,000s. But I decided it's called stick welders from Lincoln Electric. Is shielded metal arc welding. They're not using stick electrodes to weld mild steel, low alloy stainless steel. So I went to their website. Now I'm not promoting anything. I'm not recommending anything other than myself. This is a pat myself on the back episode. So there they are. And there's their equipment that's for sale that they're making. And when I did a little bit of reading, I found out that actually they're fairly well worldwide, meaning they distribute almost all around the world. And they had a history page which had some information, but there's the original guys. Lincoln Electric was founded in December 5th, 1895 in Cleveland, Ohio. An initial $200 investment. $200 in 1895 is like $1 million. Maybe not quite that, but a lot. An initial investment of $200 was used to develop and commercialize a unique direct current electric motor for industrial applications. Electric motor. See, that was an age where electrification of the General Electric Company, Thomas C. Edison, and all that stuff. First, the first power distribution was DC. And then they found out that AC would be a better way to do it. My mother told me about going to New York City, and the wall sockets would still say DC or AC. They would have both ways available in some parts of New York City in the 1940s. What started as a spark of ingenuity flickered and gained momentum. By 1911, John C. Lincoln invented and launched their first variable voltage arc welder, an innovation that catapulted Lincoln Electric into new technology. They've been around for 125 years. But he didn't tell me what I wanted because I couldn't find any page that would show me their original equipment, way back. So I did a little more searching, and I happened on this article. Now, you remember I mentioned welding in my brother's foreign car repair shop? See, we built a street stock race car. I put the engine together. My brother had to weld together a roll cage in there and other things. He had a welder. This is Street Muscle magazine. Thank you to them. What's Street Muscle? Yeah, Street Muscle cars, muscle cars. History of automotive arc welding through Lincoln Electric. Thank you, Bobby Kimbrough. This is September 19th, 2013. And it's got 2 pictures of interest. What's the guy doing? He's out in the forest. There's a steel or metal pipe of some kind. There's 1, 2, 3 horses. He's got a wagon, not a truck, a wagon, and he's got something on the wagon. And we can see something here that might be of interest to us, that looks similar to what was on the back of that truck. What was on the back of that truck? You see the cowling up here? You see what it looks like there? Hang on. Let's see what the caption says. September 1927. Lambkin Hodge Pipeline. Getting ready to lay the final bead, that's a welding bead, on a bell and spigot joint for this 8-inch line which carries gas from Lambkin, Louisiana to Hodge, Louisiana. I had a neighbor in Raleigh who told me what it was like to drive from north of Raleigh down to the seacoast, Outer Banks, in 1932 for a vacation. And to get from the Raleigh area to the coast only took a week, and they had to camp along the way. And this was North Carolina, which in comparison to Louisiana might have considered to be more developed. That's why he's got a wagon and horses. But what's he got on the wagon? This is one of the first major pipelines to be arc welded, and Lincoln equipment was used exclusively on this project. So there's a gasoline engine driving a generator that's special to do arc welding, and the year is 1927. And I'm looking at that cowling up here, and it looks a lot like that. But no, you can't see it up close, you can't be sure. This might be from 1927. Let's get back to the article. But there's another picture. We have to scroll way down. Now this is about muscle cars. I didn't read the whole article. That's how it would be in a... What do you think of this picture? Manipulating wavelengths was not always a concern or an option in the past. A young boy watches his father, John Taylor, get ready to make repairs with his gas-driven welder at the farm of Lawrence and John Taylor in December 1949. And this is, I think, a more advanced model. You see this thing here sticking out? But there's the cow. Can I make this picture larger? You see this here? You see how nicely shaped this is? That's the gasoline engine plus the generator to create the arc electricity. And it's mounted on a wagon. It's out in the farm, and that looks more modern, more up to date than this one. You see this right here? You see this part right here? This part right here? You know why he has a fan here? To cool the engine. He doesn't have a radiator. Maybe the radiator is not enough. Do you see? Or maybe it's there for the fumes, to blow the fumes away. But do you see this part of it right here? Do you see it right here? And if I go back up to the top, can you imagine what I just showed you? If you look closely, that thing is right here. There's the engine, and there's this part that I believe is the generator that produces the electricity. That what's in this picture is closer to what we saw, and the picture's date is 1927. I was wrong. It's a hell of a lot more than 50 years. Which probably is a testament to the Lincoln Electric Company. And I'm not promoting anything. I'm saying that the one we saw is somewhere between 1927 and 1949. If you disagree, give your reasons in a comment, please. And thank you to the Google search engine. And thank you to this article. I really appreciate it. Steve A.B. Foyel with a big grin on his face, patting himself on the back, saying, see you in 73.